Red Sox Twitter is ablaze right now around trade rumors surrounding one Hunter Greene. So we're going to talk about that in today's show. Could the Red Sox and should the Red Sox trade for Hunter Greene, the starting pitcher of the Cincinnati Reds? We're going to talk about all of that in today's edition of the Red Sox Rundown. But before we do, I'm just going to ask you off the top. And I think I know what the answer is going to be, but you let me know. Would you, if you were Craig Breslow, would you trade for Hunter Greene? Comment yes or no down below in the comments. I have my producer, Nick Lopez, shaking his head no as he wears his Cincinnati Reds hat. How convenient that he's the one producing this video. But you comment yes or no down below in the comments and let me know if you would trade Hunter Greene to the Red Sox. So the reason why we're talking about this is because Mark Sheldon, who covers the Reds, put out his, primer article to the offseason asking a bunch of questions about what the Reds could do this offseason. And one of his sections was, could they trade Hunter Greene? Here's a snippet from that section of the article. This is not the entire section of that article. This is just a snippet of it. He said, even after a disappointing postseason debut versus the Dodgers in Game 1 of the National League Wildcard Series, Greene still could be an attractive trade chip in the Reds' pocket. Moving him would free up salary to sign a bat this offseason and bring back a hitter in return, and could change the and a change of scenery, could benefit him. This can't be a salary dump for prospects, however. If Hunter Greene is traded, Major League talent would need to come back to make it work. And the Red Sox have been linked by numerous people, and like I said, Red Sox Twitter has gone absolutely ablaze, that Hunter Greene could be a potential target for the Red Sox. Now, I want to make something abundantly clear. If available, that's a big if. We'll talk about that in a second. If available, you got to make this priority number one. Right now, I have priority number one is re-signing Alex Bregman. Then I've got going and trading for Joe Ryan. Those are my two biggest priorities, realistic priorities for the Red Sox headed into this offseason. If Hunter Greene becomes available, and the Red Sox know he's available, this needs to be priority number one. Because he is just that good. And we will talk about that throughout this video. But a lot of people are going to say, Jack, there's absolutely no way the Reds are going to trade Hunter Greene. And I give you this quote from Nick Krall, who is the director of baseball operations for the Cincinnati Reds. He was asked about the potential of Hunter Greene being traded this offseason, and he said, I don't want to speculate on anybody that's going to get traded or not get traded at this point because we haven't had any conversations with other clubs. I don't know what the needs are out there. I don't know what the people are available as well. That sounds pretty willing to trade him to me. If I were in that situation, I would have said, well, there's absolutely no way, Hunter Greene's getting traded. Hunter Greene is our ace. Hunter Greene is our pitcher of the future. And Lopez, if you want to go one player L3 above this, I do have my take on this entire situation. I think it would be absolutely ludicrous for the Reds to trade away Hunter Greene. But it still kind of sounds like they don't really know. And the fact that there was no definitive answer makes this a conversation willing to have. So since we're going to have the conversation, let's break down Hunter Greene as a player. We're going to talk about the goods, and we're going to talk about the bads. The first good should be obvious. It's just the pitching. Hunter Greene is really good at throwing the baseball. In his career so far, he's been good. His first two seasons, not bad. A little rocky. Still getting his feet under him. The ERAs are in the mid to high fours. But then something happened in 2024. Upped his innings big time. Brought his ERA down 2 ticks from the year before, which is significant. Upped his strikeouts to 169, nice. 57 walks and a FIP of 3.47. He was an all-star in 2024. Then in 2025, had some injury concerns, didn't play as many innings, but still kept that ERA down. Still had 132 Ks and got the FIP down to 328. Greene's been one of the best in baseball over the past few years. And that's not just me saying that, that's everyone saying. I think most people, if you actually consume baseball and you know ball, would admit that Greene is one of the best in baseball. And he's got a profile that the Red Sox would absolutely salivate at. Jake Roy of Nesson wrote this when these rumors came out. He said his fastball averaged 99.5 miles an hour in 2025 and has a fairly flat approach angle. His ability to generate swings and miss in the strike zone is also one that pitching coach Andrew Bailey has emphasized in an area that the Red Sox rotation was lacking. So, if we look at his baseball savant page, you're going to see a lot of red. Now, if you don't know what baseball savant is, it's, a more advanced kind of sabermetric type website. Check it out. It's actually really cool. Usually, red means bad, green means good. On Baseball Savant, red means good. This is really, really good. This was his Baseball Savant page from this past season. 99 percentile fastball velo, 93 percentile K percentage. What is that, 90 percentile whiff rate? 89 percentile chase rate? Are you kidding me? Fastball run value at a 97 percentile? That's really good. That's really, really good. And any team that adds him would be adding a certifiable dog to their staff. So I would do it. But that's just me. If the Red Sox end up trading for Hunter Greene, you can bet your bottom dollar we're going to make a video. Hell, we'll make multiple videos. We'll make a bunch. We'll make a short. We'll make a long form. Hell, we may even go live. Make sure you don't miss out. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. We just reached 6,600 subscribers. Thank you all so much. We reached that in like a day after we reached 6,500. We've got good momentum to 7,000. Our goal before opening day is 10,000 subscribers. We're less than 400 away from 7,000. So if you've not already hit that subscribe button, because if something happens, which I bet you something will, I'm not saying around Hunter Greene, but they're going to make trades, they're going to make signings, we're going to have videos. Join the family today, hit that subscribe button. I promise you will not regret it. Good number 2, the contract. When I saw the contract that Hunter Greene currently possesses, I said, oh my God, this is incredible. This is like a gift from the gods. Garrett Mashburn, who, if you don't follow him on Twitter, he's a fantastic follow. I would highly, highly recommend it. He had the original tweet. He said, for what it's worth, Hunter Greene was already extended pre-arbitration. It was a 6-year, $53 million deal in 2023 that runs through the 2028 season, and there's a club option for 2029. And then he said, I'm going to give up a lot if he's truly available. So, and then he posted this photo right here. This is from Spotrac. Yeah, Hunter Greene won't be a free agent until 2030. Yeah, that's very tempting. Very, very, very tempting. So you've got 2026, 2027, 2028, and 2029. 4 seasons, math, 4 seasons on a fairly affordable deal. Make it happen, Craig. Make it happen. Then last but not least in the goods is just the star power. I mean, we talked about that with the pitching. He's got absolutely electric stuff. His profile is something that the Red Sox absolutely want. And if you add him to this rotation, oh my gosh. Garrett Crochet, Hunter Greene. You got Brian Bayo as your 3. Connolly Early as your 4. And then you have an internal battle royale for your 5 with Hunter Dobbins, Richard Fitz, all Peyton Tolley and Cutter Cry. Like you have an internal battle royale for that 5th. Guys, this rotation would be absolute box office. I'm telling you. Garrett Crochet alone is already box office. If you bring in Hunter Greene, who has just as dynamic of stuff as Crochet, you've got, I would say, the best 1-2 punch in all of baseball. I'm telling you. This rotation if you add Hunter Greene. That's the type of number 2 you're looking for. We talked about this in yesterday's video when we talked about the ESPN predictions. And the guy from ESPN said he thought they're going to be safe and probably bring back most of their roster from last year. And I said, no. You need to act like a big market team. And if you just stand by and settle and run it back from this past season, you're not acting like a big market team. You're acting like a mid-market team. The Red Sox need to act like a big market team. And Hunter Greene in this rotation, that's box office. That's a big market move. And I think the Red Sox, if he's available, that should be priority number 1. You let me know. The answer is yes, but I'm just going to ask. Would a Crochet Greene duo be the best in baseball? 1-2 punch. Would that be the best 1-2 punch in all of baseball? I think there's a few teams you could argue with. You could argue with the Mariners. I think you could probably argue the Phillies might have a 1-2. You could argue the Dodgers might have a pretty good 1-2. You could argue the Yankees, although I think that's maybe a little bit too rich. But you let me know. Y for yes, N for no. Would a Crochet Greene duo be the best in all of baseball? Now, with the goods come the bads. Let's talk about the bads. Hunter Greene's not perfect. There are some concerns that you need to think about. Number 1 is a concerning walk rate. That's been kind of his Achilles heel throughout his career. However, if we take a look at the numbers, you do see an outlier here. So 9% walk rate in 2022, 9.6 in 2023, 9.3 in 2024, but then a 6.2 in 2025. He heavily worked on his command. He worked on his stuff, and the drop-off in 2025 is significant. To bring it from a 9.3 to bring it down 3 percentage points, that's significant. So while I don't love a 6.2% walk rate, it sure as hell is better than a 9.3% walk rate. So it's still something to be concerned about. Of course, the Red Sox had a lot of issues this year with walks, but he showed some good adaptation over this past year. Number 2, injury concerns. Another thing that the Red Sox know way too well in terms of pitchers, specifically this past season in 2025, with basically every starting pitcher we had, minus Garrett, Crochet, getting injured at some point or another. And Hunter Greene is the same. The last 2 seasons, he has missed time. He was on the 60-day IL in 2024, missed a lot of time in 2024. And then he had 2 stints on the IL in 2025 with a groin injury. So not to say that these are going to crop up again, but over the last 2 years, missing at least some sort of substantial time due to injuries is definitely something to consider, and something that is at least a conversation if you are Craig Breslow and the Red Sox. And last but not least, you'd have to give away some sort of haul. Obviously. I've spent the 13 and a half minutes of this video basically talking up Hunter Greene the entire time. Like, if you trade for Hunter Greene, it will hurt. Like, I want to make that abundantly clear. And I do have a trade idea that I'm going to throw out, and honestly, I don't even think it's enough. But if you do trade for Greene, it's going to hurt. But I think he is more than worth it, in my opinion. And I think most of what I've seen on Red Sox Twitter today has been, yes, give them the entire farm. So here's my preliminary trade idea. Again, thinking about it now, I don't even know if it's enough. You might have to give another prospect or 2, if I'm being completely honest. But the Red Sox would receive Hunter Greene. You would send Jarren Duran. He would be your headliner because, as that report said, they are trying to get more offense. So Jarren Duran. Kyson Witherspoon, your first-round pick in last year's draft, starting pitcher, very exciting starting pitcher prospect. And Stinson Garcia, outfield prospect, who made a few starts in the majors this year, so his ETA is now if he wanted to be. Like, as a Red Sox fan, I would do it because you're not giving up like that much. I was talking to Lopez before this, and he's like, that's just not enough. And again, I think there is a legit argument that you would probably have to add more. You probably would. But just on the base, off the top, not really knowing anything, this is probably what I would give up, because you give them stuff that they need. You give them instant offense with Jarren Duran. You give them potentially another outfield option in Yostinson Garcia, who's ready to be called up in the majors if he's needed. You take a starter, Hunter Greene, and you get a starting pitcher prospect in Kyson Witherspoon, who's exciting. His ETA could be in the next year or so. And I think the Reds have enough pitching depth to where, obviously you don't want to lose Hunter Greene, but if you were to trade him, you'd still be okay with your starting pitcher depth. So, and then like they said in the report, Hunter Greene's contract is now gone, and they can go get another bat in free agency. So maybe it's enough. I don't know. They might have to tack on another prospect, but this is at least my preliminary idea if they were going to try to trade for Hunter Greene. Would you do the trade? I think all Red Sox fans are going to say A for accept. I think all Reds fans are going to say D for decline, and that's perfectly okay. But you let me know down below in the comments. Would you make this trade A for accept, D for decline? Let me know down below in the comments. That's where we're going to end it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this edition of the Red Sox Rundown. This was a rumor that came strictly off of Red Sox Twitter. I want to do more videos like this in the future, just taking the pulse of Red Sox Twitter and the trade rumors that come from them, not just, rumors from all the beat writers and things like that. If you like this type of video, make sure you hit that subscribe button, because we've got a lot of time until the hot stove really starts when the World Series ends. So we're going to have to fill some time between now and then, and we are going to every single day with daily videos. So don't miss out. Hit that subscribe button. And until next time, go Sox.